Thanks, Adrienne, for that warm introduction. I need to apologise for my voice. Unfortunately, come down with a bit of a cold last week, so here's to not coughing in the next 10 minutes. So good morning. My name's Glenn Neal. I work for South32. Today, myself, Jeff Hobley from EDL and Will Raywood-Smith from Sunshift will present to you a case study on the Cannikin solar project, which is currently under construction at South32 Cannikin mine in Queensland. Fingers crossed. They're just their global operations for anyone that's interested in it. Okay, the project is located at a South32 Cannikin underground mine, which is the world's largest lead, silver and zinc mine. It's located in northwest Queensland, about 200 kilometres southeast of Mount Isa. Broadly, the project will be the second largest of its kind in Australia and deliver 3 megawatts of solar PV generated electricity whilst integrated into the existing EDL owned and operated gas power station. Adding complexity is the fact that the gas-solar hybrid power station is a remote off-grid application which translates to an increased need to have quality IPP integration and operation to deliver security of electricity supply to the mine. Some may have picked up that the Cannikin power station is gas-fired. This is certainly in the minority in an industry dominated, as we heard today, in diesel-fired power stations. Not only does the load change response of gas introduce technical complexity, but the gas is pipeline supplied, which really challenges the economics to deliver value. The Sunshift solar PV solution will see 3 1-megawatt blocks of fixed angle sun power solar cells being installed across 6 hectares of land. ABB string inverters complement the design to deliver a P50 of 6,420 megawatt hours of electricity per year. Each Sunshift block will be integrated into the existing electrical network via 11 kV step-up transformers. The transformers will tie into the overhead power lines that feed the accommodation block, which you can see in the northeast photo on the slide. These overhead power lines represent an important constraint for the project, which saw the 3 megawatt solar capacity being selected to keep within the design limits of the existing infrastructure. By working with this constraint, we were able to deliver the right balance between complexity, CapEx, and carbon emissions abatement for South32. A fibre optic network will be used to integrate the solar farm into the gas power station control system located almost 3 kilometres back at the mine. Given the mine is underground and off-grid, it's imperative that the power station and the solar farm perform as a single integrated system to deliver a secure electricity supply to the mining operation. A solar installation meter and cloud detection unit will be installed to close out the Sunshift design. These instruments will provide solar resource tariff metering and power station predictive response control, respectively. It's expected that the solar farm will deliver in the order of 4,000 to 6,000 tonnes of CO2e carbon emissions abatement once it's in commercial operation later this year. So now I'd like to provide to you the perspective of the mining company through the 3 key aspects that positioned and supported our South32 team to deliver our first renewable energy project. These aspects are corporate strategy, product and timing, and economics. Anyone who set out to create something new can attest that there's certainly more than 3. However, these 3 span the important value drivers that enabled us to secure CapEx and PPA contract funding, along with the right business approval to deliver our industry-leading project. Our short-term emissions reduction target is to stay below our FY15 Scope 1 emissions baseline in FY21. We will review our emissions reduction approach every 5 years from 2021 and intend to transition towards achieving net zero emissions by 2050. With a strong climate change policy, our CEO and leadership teams empower us to deliver this public commitment where it makes sense to do so. Executive-level business support was key to establishing our intent with the Cannikin Solar Farm, which was timed with the renewal of the mine's broader power purchase agreement. Once our intention to include a renewable portion into the new PPA was clear, we set out to understand the mechanics of what renewables would mean to a mining operation. Specifically in terms of our guiding principles, and we've heard this earlier, security of supply, flexibility to evolve with the mine, and of course price. This path to resolution took some work, and we learnt early on that in an emerging market the solutions were not going to come to us, we had to hunt for them. Our South 32 team led the project, though we realised we needed subject matter expertise to deliver the right solution to maximise value, so we reached out to industry experts, Oakley Greenwood, and together we matched the needs of our business with that of the renewable energy solutions available on the market. We then formalised this using an innovative, interactive commercial process that embodied our company value of togetherness, and through togetherness, we'll deliver value. In our case, it was the contract term flexibility and scalability from Sunshift, coupled with the current EDL gas power station that delivered the right value with the right partners. Through an economics and investment lens, we developed an NPV positive approach that will assist us in contributing to our emissions reduction target, as well as unlocking the all-important corporate and operational experience that will deliver further opportunities within South 32. My final takeaway today is this. The right business leadership, coupled with the right product and timing, we developed a renewable energy solution that will deliver accretive value against a power station fuelled by pipeline gas. Imagine the opportunity this presents to other mines in Australia that are powered via diesel or even gas. We're delivering Australia's second largest at 3 megawatts. As a mining industry with a fantastic solar resource, I would say that there is certainly scope to increase beyond this. So thank you, take care. I'll now hand over to Jeff, who'll provide the learnings from the IPP integrator.
Thanks, Glenn. Morning, everyone. My name's Jeff Hobley. I'm General Manager of Energy Development's Remote Energy Portfolio. Energy Developments, or EDL as we're known, Australian-based global producer of sustainable distributed energy. We have almost 1,000 megawatts installed globally at 99 facilities across Australia, North America, the UK and Greece. Our remote energy portfolio comprises power stations servicing mine sites and remote towns across Australia, which are not connected to a major grid, and includes the power station at the Cannikin mine. We have a strong focus on customer relationships, and we're continually looking at how to best meet our customers' needs and exceed their expectations. Increasingly, this involves the integration of renewable solutions with their existing and future supply contracts. Cannikin is an excellent case in point. We've worked very closely with South 32 and Sunshift to bring the solar power project to Cannikin to reality. EDL's been the incumbent generator at Cannikin for more than 20 years, and as the original supply contract ended, South 32 went to market seeking proposals for new or for ongoing power supply that included a renewable component. We provided a compelling proposal for the ongoing supply and subsequently worked with South 32 and Sunshift to deliver the project. When I reflect upon the Cannikin project, there are three key elements that have helped us reach the point we're at today, and these will also be critical in ensuring its ongoing success. The first is having a single point of accountability. Under the Cannikin contract, Sunshift provides the solar electricity to EDL, and we maintain responsibility to the end-use customer for overall power supply and reliability. This makes life much simpler for the customer and ensures that each link in the supply chain can focus on their core deliverables through design, installation and ultimately the reliable supply of electricity. The second point is delivering the right solution for the customer. The existing power station at Cannikin comprises gas and diesel generation. It runs primarily on gas, with some diesel support for impact load and during outages. Demand from the station averages around 22 megawatts. So whilst the addition of 3 megawatts of solar PV might seem relatively modest in the grand scheme of things, it's significant in terms of islanded renewable hybrid projects in Australia, and it's right-sized for the mine site. As Glenn indicated, there are some limitations on the site, particularly around power lines that would have required significant added cost if we'd looked to install more than that. The third point I'd like to mention, and I think this is one of the critical elements, is the importance of integration, and it can't be understated. Anyone can go and purchase solar panels or a battery, but managing the integration and getting those new technologies to work with an existing power station and deliver reliable, seamlessly deliver reliable power is where the rubber really hits the road. This is a detailed, involved process that's critical to achieving the promised environmental outcomes, and it just can't be understated. Cannington's not our first islanded power station, or islanded hybrid project rather. In the middle of last year we completed commissioning of a major renewable hybrid project at Coober Pedy in South Australia. And that project combines solar PV, wind turbines and a range of other enabling technologies with the existing diesel-fired power station to supply reliable power to the local township. After commissioning, a 3-month settling in period followed as the system was progressively tuned to maximise the renewable penetration. And since October last year, the project has delivered an average renewable penetration in excess of 70% of the total energy consumed. This equates to a reduction in diesel consumption of nearly 2 million litres, and the station runs without any diesel generation nearly half the time, and at its longest stretch has actually run for 45 hours continuously with no diesel generation. At this point I'd like to acknowledge the role of ARENA in both projects. At Coober Pedy represented a number of technological firsts, and support from ARENA was critical in delivering the viability of that project. Cannikin is much more straightforward technically, however ARENA's work with SunShift was still key in delivering a commercial product, and Will may like to touch on that during his presentation. At EDL we've also recently purchased the 1.6 megawatt solar PV installation at Rio Tinto's Weipa mine, and we're currently working on the development of what will likely be the largest islanded renewable hybrid project in Australia. Can't say too much about that at the moment, however we look forward to providing more information in the near future on that one. In wrapping up, I'd like to reflect on the changes we've seen in the renewable hybrid power market. Until recently, the opportunity to develop islanded renewable hybrid opportunities was limited only to projects supported by ARENA. As a result of upfront investment in the industry by stakeholders like ARENA, we're now starting to see projects become competitive with fossil-fuelled alternatives without requiring subsidy, and that's really exciting. I think we're starting to see that market shift. As a business, EDL genuinely believes there's real opportunity for further islanded renewable hybrid projects that will provide affordable, reliable, sustainable power. At EDL we've been on this journey through projects like Cannikin and at Coober Pedy, and the depth of experience and track record that we're building from that and our focus on innovation means that we're leaders in this field. We're very excited to be providing the solution at Cannikin's South 32's Cannikin mine. Thank you for your time, and I'll hand over now to Will Raywood-Smith to talk through the supplier perspective.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. So you've heard the perspectives of the miner South 32 and the IPP energy developments. And to complete the picture for you, I'd like to share the perspective of the renewable energy solution provider SunShift and our parent company, the innovative construction major Laing O'Rourke. So in Laing O'Rourke's development of SunShift, with the support of ARENA, we've been fortunate to engage with many of the people in this room to understand the unique requirements of the mining sector and shape a product to fit the market. This includes early engagement with South 32 and energy developments during the commercialization stage of SunShift. And 3 key themes emerged during those early consultations that you'll see have carried through into the SunShift product offering and the Cannikin project that we are proudly delivering today. So the first is flexibility. So miners want to have flexibility in the way that they operate their mines. so that they may respond to changing market conditions, be able to ramp up or ramp down production, or even put their mines into care and maintenance or closure. Miners want to be able to periodically test the competitiveness of their incumbent power solution. And we very much listened to those unique requirements of the sector and have engineered a megawatt-scale, modular and movable solar that can be easily relocated from one user to the next, in order to provide maximum flexibility to the miner and overcome the mine life barrier, if applicable. So SunShift enables what we call a flexible PPA. So there's no stranded asset risk, no long-term commitments, no high-cost early termination fees. And this all helps when the miner is assessing the business case for renewable energy. And because our systems are manufactured off-site, we've minimized our construction activities on-site, meaning fewer seats on planes and fewer beds in camps. So you can see in this photo that we're manufacturing at scale. So there's about 1/8 of the Cannikin system pictured there, and all is now being exported from the factory, and the first 1 megawatt block has arrived successfully on site. So at SunShift, we can offer a PPA arrangement where no client capital is required. So SunShift, in that situation, would finance and own the system, simply selling units of energy and providing a minimum production guarantee. So performance risk would sit firmly with SunShift. And our 25-year warranty on our system allows 5 redeployments within the asset life. And that means that the system cost may be recovered across multiple PPAs, and thereby reducing the cost of energy under any one PPA. So the second key theme that I want to touch on is to echo the views on single-point accountability for power. We believe in this wholeheartedly. Reliable power supply is critical for miners. If there are any power-related issues, the miner should have just one person to go to and avoid any commercial situation where there could be multiple parties pointing fingers at each other. And that's why in all circumstances where there is an IPP, we would propose to contract with the IPP rather than the miner. And that is to ensure that the miner has just one contract and one person to go to. What this does mean is that the business case needs to stack up for the IPP as well as the miner. And renewable energy assets are actually a great growth opportunity for the IPPs. A portion of the miner's fuel bills can now be diverted to the miner's IPP bills. And as has been mentioned, renewable energy is also something that the miners are looking for, and therefore its inclusion in IPP's offerings increases the likelihood of winning work and extending contracts. So my third and final item is incremental hybridization. As we can see, there's real hunger to get started on the renewable energy journey. And there's an opportunity to start now with a low penetration system and then grow that system over time as you become increasingly comfortable with the technologies and as their economics continue to improve. And with SunShift's modular plug-and-play architecture, we provide our clients with a staged incremental hybridization pathway with different technologies introduced as part of our system at different stages. So technologies such as cloud monitoring and energy storage. So our clients can then select where they would like to start on that journey and later trigger expansion and greater fuel displacement benefit. So for Cannikin, we provided a 6-stage plan and have jumped straight to stage 2. So by starting now in Australia, there's real benefit to the business case as large-scale generation certificates are currently very high, and they are forecast to reduce significantly over the next 2 to 3 years. So finally, I would just wish to conclude by saying that behind every project is the people to champion it through their organizations and get business cases signed off and contracts awarded. People to collaborate during design finalization, the complexities of integration, and now construction delivery. So I wish to thank publicly both our client, Energy Developments, and their client, South32, for their leadership and high level of collaboration on the Cannikin project. Thank you.